Alright, we gotta start off with the classic map. Like,
Battle
we
of
have.
Mid. I
We
hardly
have
knew
to.
No
her.
way.
Oh, hee 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 ha. Hee hee ha. But yeah, play your main weapon that you would play here.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, we'll go through um one by one what we would do on opening and talk it through with a team and make sure everyone's on board to know like what's gonna happen when the game starts. It's not nearly as important to know what's gonna happen like through the middle of a game, because like anything can change what happens in the middle of a game. But knowing how your team is gonna open and then being able to like instinctively play off of that is very, very huge. Let's all go to this spawn over here.
Alright. Forgot about the global this ways.
Yeah.
I can't super jump to you,
Bro
unfortunately.
almost killed me with that.
Sorry.
Okay, we can probably start from like here, because yeah. Alright, so go one at a time. Neo, you know, you jump back. Let's start with you.
All right.
How'd you open here?
So usually, my first instinct is go straight out while looking at my map, because usually I find that in not all the time, but in a good amount of cases, there is often someone immediately trying to flank down this right route. So I'm always looking at a map, looking to see if anyone is putting paint down there. Because if there is, I can start prepping a charge the second I jump down from here and start firing at them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I can just go up this ramp, start painting the zone, and then like hiding back here.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because like this is like this spot right here where I'm firing is also a place where people like to set up.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it is decent cover.
Yeah.
But no, like yeah, this lets me look at both the right flank and the zone.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I agree with it. The only thing I would change is that if you wanna, this depends on if you wanna play on an early cooler or not. But if you wanna get cooler out quickly so your team can fight, jump back to spawn. I'll show you what I typically do. So if you're trying to get an early cooler, you kind of actually want to do the opposite of getting like as quick as you can to mid. And instead spend more time like charging up here, a full charge shot, and then like firing to the left, firing to the right, like firing as far apart to get like as much paint down as you can to quickly get your
I
cooler.
see.
Definitely like
Yeah.
you don't need to paint like the entire spawn area, because I think actually what's better is like take the little platform that you have in spawn to charge up your shot, but then paint like a head in this area over here. But then when you inevitably die and you have to go back to spawn, you still have the spawn area to paint up for another cooler.
I see. I understand. Yeah.
So yeah, you basically charge up all the way and try and paint as much as possible while still moving forward. So that way, and if you can practice it in your own recon, but you can very consistently get coolers out within like 15 seconds if you practice that.
Yeah.
And like having a cooler quicker than the enemy team is like always very helpful.
I merely my instinct when starting a game is to make sure, or I can deprive them as much space as I can. But like, like if getting an early cooler is worth that much value, then
I would,
and honestly, yeah,
I would agree.
I
Mainly
can see where
because
you're
like,
coming
yeah, because then it's definitely important to have you on the front line to like stop the enemy team from rushing in. But generally, especially on opening, because opening people generally don't want to take super risky plays, so they're not going to be looking to like run straight ahead in mid, or like there are definitely people who are going to be flanking immediately, but that can be fairly easily spotted if you take a look at the map. So
Yeah.
most of the time, the people on the front line, as long as they know that they're not going to have you there to support them, you can hold a 3v4 in mid and stall out the enemy team for roughly like maximum. You should only need to stall out the enemy team for like 10 seconds before a cooler comes out. and then you can fight with that.
I hear you.
So yeah, as long as everybody's on the same page and like knows not to like go super heavy into a fight at the opening, then I think opening cooler is the best strat.
I was gonna say, I am like the opposite. I am the person who runs straight forward in and dies within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Understandable.
I would definitely recommend to like, especially if you are playing with a cooler, wait to be super aggro on your first fight until you get that cooler out, because then it makes dying not nearly as bad as if you didn't have cooler.
I've always said that cooler can effectively erase a mistake.
Yeah. No, I feel like the biggest part about cooler, like, yeah, it's cool that it can reduce your spawn time to like basically nothing, but the much more peak part about it that people don't talk about nearly as often is the fact that you lose none of your special when you die with cooler. So
Yeah,
you can
I'll
have
say
like,
that
People don't talk
That's
about
the part I
that. That is
consider
crazy. I
busted.
thought everybody did. Everybody
yeah,
hated that aspect of it, dude.
yeah, no, but
I-
like that is the reason, like the biggest reason why you run cooler. I feel like.
Yeah. Like that's the part that's most busted about cooler, in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. All right, but yeah, good opening. I like it. Let's head back to spawn and get the next person to talk about it.
I was gonna say, because we've run this map before, like I'm the exact cooler. That is what I do. If I do this for like any weapon as well, or I'll like paint up here.
Mm-hmm.
And typically I'll try to go where people aren't. But like I think
Mhm.
here I've gone like left before, just to paint all this. So I know the way it paints this to build my special.
Mhm.
And typically I'll get to like the mid last. And if I have cooler, I'll throw it like in this area,
Mhm.
and then I'll engage from there. Like typically just paint the zone.
Yeah. Yeah. Typical support opening. If you're
If
playing
I
splash, where would you pop your crab?
grab, it depends. I would have said like maybe here if I rushed out. But I can also see I know one of the best spots is like tent as well.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah.
that would be the best on opening since we're gonna be here, the enemy team's gonna be just on the opposite side here. I
Mhm.
know there are these walls here is the biggest thing.
Mhm.
So probably like here, maybe like on these toe tiers, like at this angle.
Yeah, like if you can get up here, I think this is the best spot to crab on opening, simply because you can definitely clear the right side with the crab
Yeah.
here, and so that way the entire enemy team is forced to either back up away from the left side, or if they want to try and hold the space here, they have to clump to the right, and then somebody like Zap with the decaf can just run in and like no people are going to be right side, and then they only have to look at the, I guess from here they're going to be only over here on the left side, so that's the only place that Zap is going to have to look to kill people.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, getting the crab to clear like one and that's like a very big general thing. Getting specials to clear one very specific spot so you know for a fact there's going to be nobody there is very huge compared to like just throwing it at a bunch of people and having them spread apart but still be able to be together.
Did I grab like cooler first, assuming Neil plays edit? I grab it and I crab there, or should I, if I'm going left, get crab, pop it, and then grab cooler and then
I
go
think
in?
pop and then grab cooler because you can get crab insanely fast in that weapon. So
Yeah.
like literally first 10 seconds I think you get a crab if you do it optimally. So
Yeah, that's probably right. I'll go left and then Neo can get spawn and mid and stuff like that.
yeah,
I'll
like
try not to kill anything.
generally I would say like wait for a cooler to be thrown and then pop crab so then your teammates are able to play with a crab and a cooler.
But for opening,
Yeah, for opening you don't need to grab cooler and then pop your crab. You can pop your crab and then grab cooler.
okay.
But just wait for a cooler to be popped so your teammates can play with it.
Yeah,
then
it makes
play grab
sense.
it. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Good opening. The one thing I might modify is try and not paint too much of your spawn on opening, like this very, very top area over here. Simply
That might
because
be what I depend on.
yeah, because you it does provide very quick paint at the opening, but I think you can still get very good paint by painting like this top left area completely over here. And then that way you save the spawn to paint when you die and come back for a much quicker grab.
Yeah, I get that. Or Neo can paint as well as you saying get some.
Or we can get that. Like anybody can use the spawn area to get their special instead of like having it already painted up.
I typically this would be like how it is right now. That's what I would do. Just a quick flick, like half a second maybe, and then I'll start moving and try to go. So I want to get to mid as fast as possible. Also doing my special. That's kind of my goal. Is to be in mid with either my cooler or whatever special.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
that's
go strikes, I don't know if I would do that or not. But if I did,
I think you
just
can still do
strike.
that for strikes because the early strikes is also like very very good. Like they have to move away. If they stand with the strikes, they're dead. So
Would it be like the same thing where like maybe one strike in the zone and then the other two on that right side, so they're clumped up left or they have to go back?
yeah, I think it depends. Like if there's somebody like hiding behind the block that you know and they're striking in the zone, then you can strike zone. But I think otherwise you can generally strike a little bit ahead of it, like right here. Because if anybody's insane enough to go ahead of the strikes, like you just kill them, so they have to back up, and it gives you more space that they have to back up into.
So like here and then as far back as well, like in this area.
Yeah, kind of like on the edge of the zone into like right here is a good spot to throw a strike
Gotcha.
in between these two. Oh yeah, good opening. I like it. Let's go back to spawn.
Okay, now we have to do the people who cannot super jump up here.
Yeah. Arcado, do you wanna go next?
Okay. Oh yeah. So my goal on opening for Hagglefish specifically, and gonna roll the goal for opening on zones is to get people to look at me and not the zone. For Hagglefish, I achieved that by my moving left. I pretty much almost always say that I'm gonna go left. I go immediately here. Generally, I come here and there's going to be someone on tent, usually a long range. They almost always go there. And there's also going to be somewhere around this area that will probably either be supporting their allies to zone, and they'll also have their eyes here. Since I'm going here, that usually diverts their attention so that they're usually shooting at me. And I just either mess around with them as long as I can, so the other team can follow up on that and hopefully get zone so that they can push up and get this area so that it gives the enemy team more things to look at and me more breathing room. Yeah, that's my general game plan for Hagglefish opening.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, just be aware of like there's like two different ways that the enemy team can deal with you. Either they're going to look at you to try and kill you on the left side, or they're going to do the opposite and not look at you and try and fight the 4v3 against your team. So being able to recognize that early and tell if you have their attention or not is very, very key. Because if you don't have their attention, like that is a literally free kill to get. But if you make a mistake and you think that they're not looking at you when they are, you could very easily die from that. So
Yeah.
Good thing to keep in mind. But yeah, good opening. I like it.
If I do pop crab and they do like what you said, you move back here, they're gonna be clumped up here for Arcader. Is that like a good or bad thing? Because now he's like maybe like a he
I
has
think
more
it is-
space, but also being like a 2 or 3v1.
It depends how sharky you play here. Because also is it Arcader or Arcadar? Just to oh my god.
Well, it's pronounced Arcader, yeah, like with the A. Yeah. So,
Okay. Yeah.
like arcade, it's arcades.
Yeah, like
Joke
arcade.
is arcade.
Okay. I think if you guys know that you're gonna go for an opening crab, it might also be smart to like just kind of paint up here and shark like right here. And like try to be as stealthy as possible without revealing that you're flanking on the left side. Because then the second the crab comes out, they're gonna be getting hit over here. They're gonna want to come back to the left side, and they funnel right into you. So then you're able to much more easily fight them up close. Like it's either that, or you go for a quick opening, push them out of left side, and then the crab comes out on the right, and they have nothing left to do other than back up into here. So yeah, two separate options. You can take a look at both during a scrim. Sorry. Like if you play Haggle on one day, you can try the sharking opening, and a different day you can try the very aggressive opening, and see which one looks better for you. But yeah, I think both of those could work very well. Oh yeah, good opening. I like it. Let's go back into spawn. Alright. How about Zap? You're right here. What would you do in opening?
Alright, so, usually, I think since Arcader only takes, like, the right spot, I would normally move, like, up here, down through 10, and then this is, like, I would probably look through here on both sides, probably use the map once I get here. I don't think I've gotten into the habit yet of using the map on the approach, but I would either, like, I can throw out an 80 here, which is a space that people might usually be standing in, or I can watch here for a flank, and if no one's going there, I can sort of move up and take this space and also threaten to throw 80s over here on this side. And then if they try to approach me, I move back and I guess just try to hold the position.
Yeah.
I don't really, honest to God, I don't think about it very much. That's it.
Yeah, I think opening with Mint on Haggle is a little bit tough to be like really aggro, because you can't take a fight through mid because everyone's literally looking at you.
Yeah.
So if you have Arcader already flanking on the left side, I think what could be smart to do instead is take the time that you have until you get cooler to play more passively and like keep paint over the zone, paint at the right flank, throw bombs in front, and generally just like wait and build your special, because then once you get that opening with the crab or with cooler, like depending on maybe if Birdio dies and you don't have a crab but you still have cooler, that way through painting and throwing bombs you're able to get your bubble quicker, so you can plant a bubble in mid and hold on with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I wonder if it would putting it behind the blocks here be too far back? Because I'm thinking, like, what is it? If I'm over here, this part is covered, this part I'm exposed, and then I would have cover here. But then there's not really much cover unless I would, like, move forward and set up a dash and then pop it immediately. But then that would, of course, risk, like, me getting immediately killed during the startup of the bubble. So I don't know if that would be super worth it unless they're, like, you know, they're not looking here, or if the crab's up and they're all trying to move out of this space, then I can use the crab to move forward, and then I can put the bubble down, like, here or something like that.
Yeah, I think if you don't have a crab for whatever reason, popping it behind mid is definitely like not bad at all. Like it's a good place to pop it, is just gain control of mid instantly, and like you pop it right behind mid, let it build up, and then climb up to the blocks here and just shoot over to the right and left
what
side.
is it? I should be able to pop this from behind cover and then stand on the blocks.
Yeah, no, you could definitely stand on them. I think it goes like up to around here, so.
It actually gets the other side too. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, no, it's pretty large, but yeah. If there is a crab though, definitely try and get it as far as you can. Maybe like up to here on the right side.
Yeah, like try to move forward as fast as I can, or further up, because then it'll be more effective than if it's just there in space that's already under our control.
Either on the right side, or you could bubble right in mid. So that way you are able to fight the left side with a bubble too. Because you already have this right side through the crab shooting here. So you can take all of the space by bubbling in mid and then fighting the left side.
Yeah.
I think though, if you get a cooler on opening, and the crab on opening too, try and fight first, because even if you die, you're gonna get your entire special back, and then you come back with a bubble that you can then use to
And then I
like,
keep the bubble.
hold
And then
down even
if
more.
we're winning, I can move it up again in space that's being contested. And if we're losing, I can put it up like near the zone on defense to force them to back away from the zone.
Yeah, yeah. Like generally, if you have cooler, you want to try and fight very aggressively, because it doesn't matter if you die, you still have your special to come back with. But yeah, generally from a passive opening on Haggle is good. So I like it. Good opening. All right, let's go back one last time.
Wait, am I going to the wrong one?
Yeah, you are.
It's a blue
I'm
spawn.
going to the wrong one.
Arcado's over here.
Just understand or anything. And going through the ramp might be a better idea.
What
Just
for
drop some-
the?
Yeah, I never thought about this, but this actually drops me more directly about where I want to be compared to dropping in through here, because it is kind of awkward, or compared to
Yeah.
just going straight down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
Something I never
specifically
thought about.
for Splash 2, if you're able to paint this area, like jump up here and then paint the entirety of the ramp as you fall down. So,
I was killing the brush behind you, so you didn't come
so last but not least, Larsa, how would you open on Haggle?
So yeah, basically I usually go on the left and I paint until I have like my special, and I usually use it first so I can directly go in the middle and attack.
Mm-hmm.
It works. I mean, it's a pretty aggressive way to start, but
Mm-hmm.
it works.
Mm-hmm. I think yeah, if you're able to have another anchor E weapon, like heavy or ballpoint on your team,
Mm.
then yeah, that's a good opening. Because Fling's a 2, it's a perfect flex of like support and anchor, and it's very much similar to Splash, where you want to get like missiles on opening to have the team play off of that. The thing that
Yeah.
might be tough to coordinate is like if you have both like a heavy edit, a Splash, and the Fling Zone on the same team, and they're all trying to go for an opening special, you might not have enough paint on the map
Alright.
to get that.
Yeah.
So if you guys are all playing like in one match, decide before it starts like who's gonna go for an opening special, and
Okay.
then we'll play off of that. Because I think also if you're not gonna go for an opening missiles, what you could do is like do regular open up in mid, and kind of play very passively like right behind the zone, like from up to here. Just keep throwing verticals to keep paint up and like force them to keep painting over the zone. Or you could like throw a vertical over the wall right here to try and pin over the left side and see if anybody's there.
Yeah. Alright.
And then also use your downtime to set up mines like in the zone. Or you could set up a mine like in the bottom right here to see if anybody flanks. Or catch them if they do flank. Because the mines are very powerful. Do not underestimate them.
Oh no, yeah, they are. Right.
But yeah, no, very good, very good. Yeah, general opening. Seems like we're gonna get an early cooler if we do play cooler. And early crab if we do play crab. Have Arcader on our left flank. We'll have Zap be sharking behind the zone. And then Lorsa getting paid for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fire. But yeah, these are like I kind of want to get you guys used to being able to do this kind of stuff on your own, because this is definitely it's a very easy thing to do and like talk it out with the team. You don't necessarily need a coach here to like kind of tell you guys what to do, because eventually you guys will graduate and then be off playing on your own, and being able to make like your own decisions on like what you're going to do throughout the match on your own without having someone tell you that is very, very key. So I want to go through another map now, but I'll let only you guys talk. For map.
Some, something I wanted to sort of bring up is that do you think we're playing 2 around our specials too much?
I think if I'm trying to recall a few of the matches.
Because it just seems like a lot of special play to focus on getting a cooler and a crab in like the same few moments of the game.
I think if anything, there are a few times where you guys don't play to your specials enough because specials, think about it as like. Okay, I want to ask you ask everyone here a question. How do you win in Splatoon? Like, very, very broad question, but what is like...
Generally, the way I want to win, the way I win in Splatoon is by being the most annoying mother crapper on the field.
True.
I've asked myself that question a lot, and that's my definition of winning, being the most annoying.
Fire.
It works.
But yeah, what makes one team win a game of Splatoon over another team? Like, what is the
Having
defining
good
factor?
strategies. Yeah.
Yeah, they have better positioning.
Yeah.
They win important fights, and they take space at a time where everyone is able to play off of the space that is given.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of the answers I've heard is just like Splatoon is a space-taking game.
Yeah, perfect right there. Like,
because like, well, in a quite literal sense, because like in most other games you don't get a literal representation of the area control that when you have in Splatoon, because you literally paint the area you control.
Like, if you don't control it, you literally cannot move there.
I think most multiplayer games is just space. Like even Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
If you have most of the stage, you deny your opponent opportunity to do things.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's a very similar thing here. Like, you win a match with Splatoon by taking more space in the enemy team. Because if you take more space, you're able to move the objective or control the objective further and get more points off of that. And this is getting more into like kind of like VOD review material, but the way that you take space isn't necessarily always through killing someone. You don't need to kill someone to get their space. All you need to do is get them to move out of it somehow. And that's why specials like displacement specials are so key in this game, because they force people to move out of an area, and that way there's nobody there. So you take the fight from being like a 1v1, a 2v1, and 2v2, from what you can call a 1v0, because nobody's there. You just move in and take it. Technically, it's the thing you have to consider though is it's not a permanent solution to holding the area, since once the special's over, there's nothing stopping them from going back in. But thinking about the game in more of a sense of like, I need to move people out of this area to push ahead, I think it's like a fundamentally more, not important, but it's a more strategic way of thinking compared to like needing to kill the team 24/7 and then consequently taking a lot of fights that is generally riskier than just poking someone out of their space. And that's why, especially at top level, you see people wait very patiently until they have like the perfect opportunity to move in, and those opportunities are created mostly by specials. Like, of course, you can get a crazy like double or triple kill with a stamper, a bucket, or a mint, but those are very rare and risky to do compared to just like popping a crab and all of a sudden they have to move, because if they don't move then they do die to the crab, and then you're able to take that space which they gave up by having to move away. See, I think generally you guys can play not at a slower pace but more of a discipline. pace, where you're waiting for something to give you an advantage to push up with.
And waiting doesn't mean just like sitting there sharking, not moving, not shooting. Like, waiting just means not moving into space that's controlled by the opponent.
Yeah, waiting means you're actively stalling out space. You're stalling out time to get something. And don't get me wrong, there are times where like stalling is a bad thing to do, because then, like, let's say you have an advantage, but then you're stalling out because the heavy looks really scary by himself, and like you can't push into that. You kind of, at those points, you have to then take the advantage and push up, because if you stall when you have advantage, you're giving them the opportunity to regroup. So it's a thing you'll learn over time, but being able to spot when you do have an advantage and when a space is clear to take is very, very key to get down. Is there any maps in particular that you guys want to go over?
Okay, Mako Tower, maybe?
Okay. Team consensus, Mako Tower.
Yeah, I think that's that mode we've been struggling with sometimes.
Honestly, yeah, Mako in general.
Sometimes he says.
Hey man, only sometimes.
Yeah, play your main weapon here, and we'll get to planning. I want y'all to try and lead this one, so whoever wants to go first, feel free to do so.
Alright. Oh, and, let me see.
Would it be in general, like, generally best to start with either Near or I, just because our objective would be normally get our special as quickly as possible. So
Yeah,
going from there
and-
might make
yeah,
things
yeah.
easier to kind of decide.
Admittedly, in my a game plan, usually it comes down to trying to take control of mid as best I can, and although honestly I'm thinking about it now. Oh, I'm not used to Mako Mart because I've played it seldom little outside of our scrims. And so I'm entirely too used to dropping down here, especially because a lot of the games I played on Mako were with Hydra, not Edit. So thinking about it, a better idea for playing with Edit might be to actually go up this rail. And charge it in just off this ramp before moving ahead. Oh, you were there. Okay.
I'm hiding.
For
I
sure.
think, yeah.
But yeah, definitely just charging, just coming off spawn into here, and prepping a charge before I actually expose myself up front, because especially I've noticed that a lot of frontliners like to camp up beneath this ledge.
As can be seen right there.
Yeah, we were both there.
That's the point.
Yeah. I think the two biggest things, like dangers of being on here, are people who like to shark here, rollers, buckets, blasters.
Oh, but basically anything that.
And then you also
over a
have,
ledge.
you're in the line of sight of here, where like chargers, like that one charger was, they kind of like to be in this area.
It's definitely far riskier, but it also lets me play with people at my range and with a height advantage. Right,
Right, you got this.
I'm pushing into mid.
Right, you got this
And
back.
instead of playing here, in which case I have literally nowhere to go. Oh, if I'm getting pushed.
Oh, yeah, you're 100% right, because you're also not as long range. It's just the biggest thing is, I do think this is the best place for you to be. You just gotta note there are tons of ways to flank, tons of ways for people to have.
It's something I
have to just flank you really quickly.
It's something I definitely have to be more aware of. I am getting better at it, especially as I've looked more toward this area. Because like very often, and I've noticed it's blasters especially. Blasters or buckets will just come down through
Yeah.
here or down from that way,
Mhm.
and try to get me from this wall.
The
Oh,
wall right there, yeah.
oh, and so I try to make it a point to at least look there briefly to see if anyone's there, and especially see if I can cut them off before they can get to this wall. Because if they get here, then I'm kind of fucked.
Yeah, no,
Because it's a
because
lot
like
harder to hit them.
one of my favorite openings to do if I'm playing Mint is instantly run to the right side, paint a wall right here, and just shark right over here.
What if I told you that's exactly what I do?
Yeah, no, it's peak,
Yeah,
because then like if they don't see you, it is the quickest kill of all time.
Yep,
To
you
get up
just
here.
just run up, hold ZR.
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I do want to make it a point to try and look more, or this side as much as I am keeping my attention on mid. It's because
Mhm.
like, if someone comes up there and I don't see them, well, you're gonna be waiting a lot longer for a cooler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, could somebody on the enemy team paint up this area real quick? I want to show some.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, paint over me team. Yeah, another thing you could keep in mind is that this is a very easy area to check the map on. Because generally, if they are like running straight at the stack, they're gonna be painting like as little as possible. So like look at the map. That's gonna be the paint trail that somebody's gonna take to your.
Yeah, on opening, I feel like that move might be a lot more risky than just doing it during a regular game trying to retake, because if everyone's going to be looking at the map on opening, it is the easiest time to look at the map, and if you're going like hold forwarding right there, it is most likely that people are going to see you if they're looking on the map.
Nah, trust me, you do not know the amount of teams I've caught off guard by shrugging on the right side.
I mean,
It
it
has
could
created
work.
a ton of openings.
It
Like,
could work.
do not underestimate the shark
Yeah.
on the stack right
Yeah.
here. It's very easy to notice, but like, if they don't know, it is so good for you to take advantage of.
True. I do
Yeah,
believe at a certain point, though, it
um,
might become more common to be able to catch it, but I don't think we're at that point yet. Maybe.
Oh, I'm not even at that point yet. I've got like multi-kills getting up here.
My
but
question is, how do we, if on the reverse of that, defend from that? Because the enemy team probably,
sorry, guys.
especially as they get better.
That's the second time, bro.
He's with you
Another
with the
thing we
curling
can-
bomb.
I think it'd be easy to show off if I stream.
Honestly, legitimately, I've
gotta push
actually had a little bit of success catching up people who are sharking. And,
Did it happen again?
W shark right
I
there.
wasn't paying attention. I was looking at his screen.
I've had some success catching up sharks with a curling bot.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
they just don't expect it to fall
they don't.
off the ledge and
Yeah.
immediately explode.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, curling
Oh,
and this ledge is devious to pull off. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
It's
making-
something that, like, while I don't rely on explicitly, it can be somewhat useful if I think someone's going to be
Yeah.
there.
If you suspect that someone is here, it's a great way to spot it. Check it out. But yeah, Berto, you were asking like how would you clear that area if you
Yeah,
select
and
someone
also would
from
that be
there?
like what multiple of us should do? Because on the one hand, Neo being here by himself, especially because he might not immediately have cooler if he gets here really quickly to defend.
Yeah,
Like my biggest worry is someone's gonna come up here,
and like beat shot.
get here, kill Neo, and now he's behind us, and we
And
might
now
be
like
pushed
that
up
that's a
here.
really good spot for them to be in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've seen a lot. They just
Honestly,
take
I've
the
noticed
stack
that
and then be able to kind of like close in on us, like here, and then they can, the other team on this stack can push into mid.
Because like you have to look at the guy on that stack. There's no ignoring him.
Honestly, I feel like that's how a good number of our like early collapses on Mako happen, and just someone comes up here and we're unable to clear them out before they can get set up, because like the longer someone is here, or like getting them out of here becomes exponentially harder.
Yeah. I think okay. If you look at my stream, I'll show you what I do.
Hold on.
Yeah. Let me know when you're watching.
I'm watching you.
I see it.
Look, Mom on TV.
Alright, so the simplest way to do it is of course check the map and see if anybody's taking like this very specific trail over here on the left side. If you see that, like something that's happening right there, definitely your next step, if you at all suspect somebody's taking a flank on this wall right here, position your camera such that you can like peek over and see the wall. Because if you look to the right side, but then look to the left of your screen, you can see the wall and see if anybody's striking on there. And then that way you see somebody, and then you kill them. Or if you don't want to fight them, conversely, then you back up and you try and hold this area and call for somebody else to try and help you and make it a 2v1. But turning your camera in such a way that you can see that bottom left area is very, very key. Because it's very quick to do. Like, you think someone's there, check it. No, no one's there. Keep going. Or check it, see someone's there, and you go kill them. It's a very quick thing to do once you get used to it.
I think it also depends on, too, like, if they're like a roller, that might not be the best idea. Or like a one-shot weapon. Like, if it's like a
Yeah,
shot.
like, naturally,
or-
you do kind of have to be... It is definitely something you just have to keep in the back of your mind, because, like, if somebody pulls off a successful flank over here, it is really devastating for the team. But, so you have to check it. But then, like, compare the, like, side effects of, like, checking it and there being no one there. That is not nearly as bad as, like, not checking it and then there being someone there. So, it is just kind of a thing you have to check all the time if you want to be extra safe. So just, like, keep in mind, if you're opening left, like, pin up the left side, but then take a quick, like, 1 second scan over the wall and see if you can spot anybody. Spotting people over here, over this ledge, is a little bit tougher, because you can't go over here, turn your camera all the way around and look over the ledge. Easier way to do that, honestly, is using either AoE or your fall off to hit them. So like Neo, if you charge up a full shebang, yeah, either curling or even charge up your heavy and then kind of back up just enough. You can back up even further, honestly. I think like all the way up to here.
Here, I'll be
And
the,
then
I'll
you
be
can
the
shoot
test
over the
dummy.
ledge.
I'll be the test dummy. I'll be the test dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, back up even further.
That time I walked into it.
What you could do instead is like aim a little bit higher, so it's falling down quicker. Yeah, like right there, that's perfect. That's perfect right there. And using that to hit over the ball.
Will that get them if they're literally on the wall, like just swimming on it?
Aim a little bit higher. Like, yeah. Zap is on the wall currently, so keep aiming higher. Even higher.
Oh, there you go.
What the crap?
Hey,
Dang, that actually works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You'd be
no.
looking at like almost a 45-degree angle, like you're parallel with the lens right here.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, it's a great thing for a splash to do as well. It's a lot easier to splash because you don't have as much range, so you kind of just like shoot from here straight
yeah,
ahead. And
I
hit
was
over
gonna say
the-
flashes typically like try
Yeah,
like
right there.
find that area, just moving. So,
Yeah, like, that's a lot easier to do. And you also have burst bombs to chuck over there.
yeah. that is
Ouch.
Limfo. But yeah, that's peak. Yeah, and I would recommend if somebody's playing crab, especially if it's a splash, try and get an opening crab right here. This is such a controlling crab if they don't have people flanking left side that you kind of just like get the entirety of mid for free if you crab up here and people push with it. So
cool. Yeah, I get. I
Highly
agree.
See,
My-
like,
My biggest worry about
everything,
doing that because I do typically, at least when I play like Zap, I'll go left mostly because everybody else went right.
Mhm.
Eventually, once we're told to get stack, I kind of just go. I'll go left, but kind of keep mid. Paint this kind of like ramp area here.
hmm
Drop cooler back here, and then maybe come to the stack. I don't think I played crap on this map and mode yet.
I think honestly, if you're playing a support weapon, I think you'd want to be the guy who's running tower the most. So
Yeah, I may
Yep.
agree on that, but like, I'll typically just try to just get maybe like if I see like their backline here, like do what you said, quick flank on here. With crab, I agree that's a good place. My biggest fear is like you said,
like yeah, if they're striking on the left side here.
Yeah. Or even when I'm using crab, I'm hyper. Maybe because this is also I'm new to crab as well.
Mhm.
Um, I'm very hyper focused on like I'll be hyper focused like mid here. I would not be paying attention really to here. Like I could see kind of like this area here, but if they already have paint here and they do like a very wide flank,
I was gonna say, I
Mhm.
think if you look over on this side, I think you can go behind this wall, and then if you're looking straight there, I can just run straight up.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead from the. I thought
Yeah.
there was here too, like tunnel vision there. Although if Neo is here as well, he could like cover for me, make sure nobody's coming.
I think generally though, you don't want to clump up where your
Yeah.
anchor is with your crab though. So
Right.
like if you pop crab here, Neo's going to push up. Because Heavy's a more mobile than crab.
Yeah, I think if Neo takes left or whatever, if it's safe there, I pop crab here, and then yeah, Neo maybe goes to this right stack here and takes this.
Yeah,
This
that's
long
what I was
range.
saying. And like, if you pop your crab and you're able to clear this right stack, I could take it, and that's basically a control over the entirety of mid, especially once the crab ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think also another proactive way to help people like not flank you so often is just like paint over the area, because if they don't have paint over a certain area, they have to make it more obvious that they're gonna flank by painting that area. Like see how much you can paint over the left side if you see shoot right here. Like you're able to paint even behind that wall right there. So and you can throw a burst bomb to check if anybody's striking there, and then now it's very obvious if they drop left side because they have to paint everything.
Yeah. I can. Oh, yeah, one shot. Oh no, you took damage though. You want to test something? No, I
But
failed.
yeah, because generally, if you paint over the left side and nobody's like immediately chucking there, then you can crab on the on top left and have that be a pretty free crab. Like somebody could be sharking far left over here, but at that point, if they're sharking this far out for your crab, and then painting all the way over here to run up into you, whoever's
That I
going to be
should.
pushing in mid will be able to see that. So. And generally, if you
Yeah.
see, you'll see them drop left side when you're opening, because that's the thing too. You can also look out actively, like if they're not immediately flanking you on the left side wall, you can generally see them like walk around and move over here. So
Yeah, that's
you'll
important.
know if somebody's on left side, and then you can kind of try and clear them out first, the crab, and then clear right side.
Right. And if anybody sees people just coming to flank me, let me know and I'll try. I mean,
Yeah, no, because that's a big thing too. If any of you see a person flanking, that is like the #1 thing to call out, so everybody knows where the guy's at.
Yeah.
But yeah. Alright, the rest of you want to talk about your opening too?
Alright, that was just one opening.
Yeah, no, that was
we did talk
Neo
about
and
mine.
Bridia. Or yeah, Neo and Bridia.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'll just quickly go over like
I just gone on a
what my
trail
path
of thought
would
and we
be.
expanded it on that for like 16 minutes or something.
well, I did mention that I go up this way a lot and try
Yeah.
to get like a pick here. But like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I didn't even realize. I think this might be a map mode thing exclusive. Are these blocks here in every mode? These like blocks to cover from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're a little different.
they are in
zones.
every
I
mode.
think they're
Some
actually-
modes have like
Yeah.
a block right here and then a second jump up here.
Oh
But-
yes, that sounds about right.
But you always have at least one block over here.
Yeah, I think it's a little different in zones though, in that they're usually unpaintable. Oh, and they're on the
Yeah, like
on the
zones you
left of
can't
each
paint
stack
over them.
instead of the right.
A
Oh,
little bit
okay.
higher. Yeah.
That's a bit of a
But you always
strange
have-
choice.
You have some sort of block right there.
Yeah.
Just to quickly go over because mine's only like one sentence. It's where I know what I want to do. Basically, just paint mid. I'll kind of maybe I'll take this rail. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Trying to get paint.
Honestly, here, let me jump back to spawn. This is what I would do with Splash.
And paint goes the left stack.
So yeah, let's say I have a splash. I'm painting over left. I shoot the thing right here. And I jump out right on top of this and paint a huge arc over here. Then once you've painted most of this area, drop down into stack, and you basically have crab by the time you're up here.
Oh, yeah.
Because you do like a
Don't fall off
big,
is the biggest thing.
yeah, like do a big circle around you when you're up there, and then drop down into stack. Because then you get a crab up, and boom, crab in 10 seconds right here.
Yeah, and then crab here, go from there. Hope there's no charge of you from here.
Yeah. But yeah. Let's be.
Okay, so let's go next.
I don't know. I don't have an insane thought process in mind. Like I said, it was just usually take that one flank there, and if not, try to. I think taking fights getting up to this stack feels hard sometimes. I don't know, not on opening because there's nobody here yet, but like maybe more people try to take this than I realize.
And the stacks are like the biggest way to get control because not only is it a large space, it's height.
It's high ground too, yeah.
Yeah, because generally, if you're able to get control of their stack, then it makes it very, very tough for them to come back and take mid. So it's like the number one thing you want to be taking.
I guess my question then would be, how do you force them out of here? Did we already talk about that sort of?
Biggest thing would be like a crab right here. Like either a crab right here, or you get an opening to struck on their wall. Because if you can struck on their wall without them knowing, like it is literally a free kill to whoever's standing out here. So you can either use that as your opening, or if either you think it's too risky, like there's 3 people there for some reason, or they spot you, then you go back and you wait for a crab.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the reason like Splash is like such a meta weapon. It spits out crabs like crazy, dude. It's not even funny. Same with strikes too. Like you can farm so many of them in a single game, and that...
Be advised, I do actually have to step back for a little bit. I'm being asked to do a favor.
Alright, okay. But yeah, no, like Splash being able to farm as many specials as they can is the reason why it's so good, because you just create so many more opportunities than other support weapons. But yeah, either a crab or you get a pick on the right stack.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. I'll go next then. So, Mako zones. I'm never entirely sure. Okay, wait, no, the one is over here. Okay, so Mako zones. I'm never entirely sure what to do. Opening. I generally try and go. I drop here, and I usually want to stick a little closer to left stack, but in general, I'm in this middle area around tower. The general opening is just to poke, throwing torpedo, getting flashes around, seeing who I can find and where everyone's general position is. If sometimes there will be more people to the left, and I will generally go around the right tower so I can poke a little more aggressively around here. If there's people on this right stack, I usually avoid this because it's really hard to what's it called? It's really hard to pick this
The ball
this stack without somebody without somebody following up, usually like a blaster especially. So if it's basically just I try and generally play things safe until I can figure out when is a good opening. Because this is like a really oppressive map for like me specifically to fight on, like because every position I can take, it can just easily be overtaken, especially if they have a really good weapon for Mako. Like if I go in too far, I just die easily, and it's just really easy for them to capitalize off of that death on this map specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
really hard to like say I have an opening. I just kind of go around this middle area and I simply poke until something happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Another really silly thing you can do with Wiper specifically is take the right flank, but then take. Take the right flank. Do not run into the stamper. Oh, you're back. Okay, take the right flank and then just run all the way behind them. And straight up like play behind their stack if you're able to. It's a very risky play to do on opening, but like if you're kind of chilling over here, like waiting behind the right stack, and you see Bertio like pops a crab top left, getting pain on the right side and is just completely running behind them to get an opening on right stack is also a good thing you can do. Because I'm telling you, flanking on the right side is such a key and important part of Mako to get like its second opening in compared to just trying to force your way through mid.
Would that
Okay.
conflict too much with what Zap is doing?
Right then.
What's that?
Yeah, because Zap, we were discussing, would go onto this stack and then flank from kind of like the middle of the stack. So like if he's doing that, would they notice Arcader flanking from behind, or is that just like actually really good like double combo?
Yeah, that's a thing. Generally, like you don't want to have two people flanking on the side here, because then it leaves your main team open to like a 4v2, which is very easy to lose. I think most of the time, if Zap is playing mid, then that's a much better weapon to have flanking right side, to get like the quick multi-kill over here. But honestly, farming for a hammer, and then kind of using that to stall mid and just like take over the red stack as well, because this hammer and you go over to the right and take it. That could be smart too. Like it's a very tough weapon. It's a very tough map for Wiper to just brute force its way in. But you do kind of have to play like very safe and wait for that perfect opportunity. And once you have that, tell your team and then go and take it. Yeah, I would agree with their opening. Just waiting and chilling until you get a good opportunity. It's very, very good.
Okay, that kills.
W kill.
I didn't even know bro was there.
Insane kills coming out of this match.
Crazy.
But remind me, with tower control, does your special charge when you're losing, or?
Okay, tower is the one where it's really, really bad. I think you get special charge if you are the losing team and nobody controls tower, but the team that gets priority when getting special charge is the team that's pushing the tower actively. So if you have your little squid icon on the tower, that means you're pushing it, and that means you're actively gaining a little bit of special over time. I really don't know why they made it so that the aggressor gets the advantage, but that's the way they did it. So, and that's why you often see like people will tap the tower for a little bit, because then that counts as you holding it, and you're gaining special very slowly. So yeah, whoever pushes the tower gets the objective, or the special charge. Yeah, Lorsa, how would you open this map with Windsor?
Honestly, I usually go pretty close here, and I try to hit the other people this way, or I stay here and I do the same thing, because I think I do have a lot of range, so it's actually worth. And I do use my special. Like,
Oh yeah.
I do think I use it a bit too much, but
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. No, I think missiles especially is like great for a kid, like especially if you missile anybody who's on the stack right here, like they just have to move. There's no other way that they
Yeah.
answer it. So that's a great way to get them off as well.
Oh, hey,
And then-
just one unrelated thing. I was looking up how the special thing works on tower control. Yeah, I don't think anybody gets the special if no one's in control.
Really? Okay, so not even like the team
No,
that
but I
has
was passively. I'm getting special right now passively.
Oh, wait, really? You are?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that's
Oh,
what I thought.
okay. Then
Generally,
I'm wrong
in
then.
all the modes, if nobody's controlling the objective, quote unquote, but there is a losing team, that team will get some special charge. But you definitely get a ton more, and then you easily override. You override that instantly if the other team
Okay.
controls the tower. But yeah, no missile spam. Thumbs up for this map. It is not bad, as you can see.
Okay, yeah, there's the passage.
Yeah, the openings are. I agree. Very good openings. Yeah. All right, let me double check.
God, I bet it's such time.
What?
What?
Who is this?
Who's
Who?
who?
Zap
Oh,
smells.
Zap
Smells?
smells?
Oh
What?
shoot! Oh
What?
That
shoot!
is
Oh my
crazy.
god.
Is
Wait,
that
Oh shoot!
I'm gonna
who?
lose my mind. Hold on a minute.
Who is the bro? There is no
Okay.
way.
Okay, Zap. If it's not any of your friends, it might be one of mine.
No, I don't
It would,
think. I think it's one of my friends.
Okay, I would think so. Yeah.
it would be crazy if one of your friends knew that,
They
dude.
just guessed
That
and
would be
passed. I think that's what happened.
I mean, hey, 55555. Not a very tough
Yeah, no,
password to crack.
that's a very common used one. So.
To be fair, they probably felt
Oh, they
fake
left.
right now.
Okay.
They probably felt fake right when that worked.
That's crazy, bro. They just came for that little bit of trolling.
Okay.
That is crazy.
That is fire. Fire hating.
I have dinner ready, so we might have to call it here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that
Alright.
too. This is a
Ew.
very, very long talking session.
A lot of time.
But yeah,
Good stuff,
no,
though.
if you want, we can schedule more of these, and then now that we know like what we're doing, we can rapid fire like every map and mode could be like 15 minutes. Just quick talk about your
Mhm.
opening. Because getting
Yeah.
everybody on page on like what you're doing on opening is such a key thing to